Call the meeting to order tonight at 6:03. Can I have you join me in the flag salute? I pledge allegiance
to the flag
of
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice
for all.
All right, pursuant to the Open Public Meetings Act, notice of this meeting was emailed to the Herald News, the Record Office, County Clerk, and posted on the PCCC website and bulletin board on November 17th, 2021.
Roll call.
Rep. Martinez. Trustee Drakeford. Here. Trustee Esquisha.
Yes.
Trustee Glovin.
Here.
Trustee Diodene. Trustee Moody.
Present.
Trustee Nutter. Trustee Powell.
Here.
Trustee Smith. Trustee Tennis.
Here.
Chairman Marco.
Here.
First order of business is the consideration of the minutes of November 16th, 2021 Board of Trustees meeting. Are there any corrections to these minutes? There are no corrections.
I make a motion to accept the minutes.
Thank you. Second,
Second.
roll call.
Trustee Drakeford.
Yes.
Trustee Esquisha.
Yes.
Trustee Glovin.
Yes.
Trustee Moody.
Yes.
Trustee Powell.
Same.
And, Vice Chair Tennis.
Yes.
Chairman Marco.
Yes.
Okay, so our presentation this evening is our annual audit. All right, Sharon's on there. I think Trustee Smith has joined us.
Thank you kindly. Thank you very much.
Okay,
We still have.
yes, we still have Tina.
Okay, good.
And I think I will first, I guess, turn it over to Fred Tompkins.
Of course,
Fred?
the big boss.
Yes, I'm here remotely, as you can probably tell. Sarah from my firm is there sitting next to Dr. Rose. We finished the audit for the most part. We're missing some numbers from the state that are going to hold up issuing the report, but it's substantially completed. We had a meeting earlier with the Finance Committee, and I think I'll let Sarah give you some quick highlights without going into all the minutia that we went into in the earlier meeting, of just the highlights of what the report shows. Essentially, you had a good year because of COVID money coming in, and you're in a good position. And I'll let Sarah expound on that.
Hi, everybody. I'm Sarah. I'm a director with Donahue the audit firm. So we audited the financial statements of the college and the foundation as well. And we issued unmodified opinion, which is the best opinion you can have. We did audited all of the federal and state funds as well. We performed single audit for both. They both are unqualified as well. We didn't have any findings or any issues. There are not much, I guess, too detailed to go, but I just want to mention the big changes were federal funds. And you did have a couple of various COVID-19 funds. One came from Department of Treasury called Coronavirus Relief Fund for $2.3 million. You did disperse your students some aids from higher education relief funds for $4.7 million. Institution had $11.7 million awarded. And also Governor's Education Relief Fund for $287. You had a very good year with all these federal monies that they are also allowed this year to use it for lost revenue for enrollment, also pay off some student loans, some students AR for accounts receivable for tuitions, and other operating income losses. The total lost revenue you had was about 8.7 million, which is pretty substantial. There were no other really changes that I can go through, but you had the audit report. If you have any questions, please let me know.
I think I'll just highlight
Sure.
the,
Discussion and analysis of the management also was great this year.
yeah, well, I just highlight one or two things. Obviously, the pandemic took a large toll on our enrollment. There had been a steady decline in enrollment, as had all colleges, based on, community colleges. As the economy gets better, our enrollments tend to go down. I think all of you remember that back in 2017 or so, when the national debate on immigration was going on, we lost a lot of undocumented students. Almost 1,000 in 1 year of undocumented students withdrew from the college. Because they got scared, and we talked about it before, but that was a big drop in enrollment. As you can see here, if you go back to 2012 and go to where we are right now, basically, when you look at our full-time equivalent, we're down about 40% from where we were back then. The good news is that, we anticipated this, and we have resized the staffing of the college to pretty much match what the size of the enrollment is. Some other colleges, got themselves in trouble because they didn't understand that when enrollments went up based on, the economy, that was not going to stay like that forever. And they hired a lot of new people, hired a lot of new faculty, and then they are suffering for it right now. Fortunately, we didn't do that, and we've managed to, keep things in check between the two. And I think probably one of the most significant things about the audit is the fact that because of the monies that came in, we were able to increase the amount of fund balance that we have at the college. And now I think Fred called it the rainy day fund or the snowy day fund, whatever you want to call it, but we're probably up to around $11 million now that we have in reserves going forward. And that's a good amount. That's probably one of the largest amounts we've probably had. I think you have to go back 20 years for us to have that level of reserves in our account. And we anticipate that this year will also generate not a similar level, but we'll also add to the fund balance this coming year. So that puts us in good shape for what's probably going to be some rough years ahead, because I think it's going to be very hard for all colleges to get back to their pre-pandemic levels of enrollment right now. So, hopefully we're well poised to do that. But the biggest change here is the fact that, we added about $9 million to the reserves. I said that right?
Of course.
Okay,
Yes,
good.
you're on.
And I think just adding to what Dr. Rosa said, you still have money that you're getting from the federal government for reserves going forward. So it wasn't just a one-time thing. There is money that will be there for 22 as well.
So we're positioning ourselves so that when this money is no longer available, we will have reserves to help get us through whatever we have to get through for a number of years.
Also, the big amounts of money that you already started dispersing to students as a student aid, and that will help the students to be able to pay some of the expenses, or if they are not able to go to work at this point, they still feel their financial crisis, and hopefully this will help them to come back to school again, and you won't have, hopefully, this reduction and decrease anymore. I want to go back to college to get these student aid.
Hey, well, we can enroll you starting in January.
Oh, sure.
So,
I pass.
okay.
But it's a good time for people to go back to school, really. I mean,
brush up on your accounting skills or whatever?
Sure, you
Yeah.
never go wrong.
Maybe you could teach them.
Yes, I can teach definitely, actually. I mean, looking at that path, but it just never got there.
Does anybody have any questions for us that they might want to know, or?
Yeah, we spent an hour earlier tonight with several of the,
Very detailed, so,
where we went through in great detail all of this, so, but we're happy to.
At that point, let me just ask a follow-up question.
Sure.
Earlier. You mentioned that at the end of our finance meeting that the retirement liability number comes from the state and remains undone until it's provided. Did that change any that could not change any of the assumptions made, correct?
no, it's, the amounts we have to book. First of all, I already recorded the amount of last year, so, what I'm going to record when I have the amounts is just the difference, either increase or decrease. I will assume it's increase, actually. It might be 2% increase, maybe based on our history that we know. So it's not going to affect, it's not going to be material entry. And also it comes as a revenue and expense, which has no effect in your fund balance. Your fund balance right now is about 10 million higher than last year, and it's going to stay the same. We already booked all the liabilities that it comes with the regular health benefits.
That's what I thought, right?
It's numbers that go in on both sides. It goes in as a revenue and expense, just wash itself out. Doesn't affect the bottom line.
And also one more thing that Dr. Rosa started, I just want to mention, they already talked about it in their management discussion and analysis that the formula for state change, so you will have an increase in state appropriation that comes for operating purposes. I mean, it's not operating, but really.
It is operating. No, it is.
Yes, and then also state increased their budget for next year for appropriation. They will give.
Well, that's already for this year. So that's,
The increases started this year, but
Yes.
it will continue.
that will continue.
It will continue and will help.
We anticipate. No reason not to anticipate. And we're actually, we're working with the governor's office right now, hoping to get an increase for next year. But this year's already quite good. So, and of course, the county support continues to be very strong. So the combination of those things together is good.
Very positive.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks, Fred.
Thanks,
Thanks,
Sarah, for
Oh,
Appreciate it.
really good job. And we really appreciate
Thank you.
all
Thank
that you have done.
Thank you for all your help that make this audit actually possible. Sometimes it's quite journey, right?
And the good news is you do not have to stay for the meeting.
Oh,
You're
I would-
welcome to.
I would love to.
You're welcome to, but
But I think I passed. if you don't mind.
I do not blame you for that.
I will read your minutes. I promise you.
Okay. Then-
I have read all of your meetings.
We have to stay.
Yeah, the rest of you have to stay, but
Oh, sorry, I will take you with me, but.
Okay,
Oh,
good night,
thank
everybody.
you.
Good night.
Good night, thank you. Have a nice holiday.
You too.
Dr. Rose, do we, since it's a draft audit, do we have to take any action on it or wait to the final one?
we have to wait till the final one
Okay,
Yes.
to accept it.
terrific.
All right, so we're good. So also in your materials tonight, you got the New Jersey Council of County Colleges fact book. That comes out every year. Every year they try to make it a little more information that you get, so you can take a look at, how the colleges compare. And I think it's got some really good information. So we certainly use it a lot around here in terms of our research. So we wanted to make sure that you had that. The other thing I'll just report is beginning tomorrow, the county has, and this was just set up yesterday, the county is resuming its testing for COVID at our Wanacue campus. I believe it's going to be the only place that the county is doing COVID testing starting tomorrow. So it's going to be tomorrow and Thursday from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. Next week, also on Wednesday and Thursday, the county will be set up in Wanacue. I think everybody has heard there's a huge demand for COVID testing out there. People are having a very hard time finding places to do COVID testing. So we were able to work with the county and get that set up on our Wanacue campus. So starting tomorrow at 10 a.m., that will be there for anyone who needs it. So glad to be working with the county and able to do that. We have a second reading on the policy that we brought you last month on readmission, and there were no questions last month, so I think we're fine on that. Advisory council memberships. One of the things that we have, most of our AAS programs, the programs that lead to direct careers, have outside advisory councils where we have employers, people from other colleges, people who are in the field who help guide us to make sure we're teaching the right things. So if it's a computer class, we want to make sure we're using the types of software that are being used out in the community that employers are using, so that we make sure we're teaching the right things. So this is a list of the members of these councils, and we are always looking for new people. So if anyone knows anyone in these fields who you think would be good to serve on these councils, please let us know, and we'd be happy to include them in future advisory councils. Purchases of goods and services. I don't think there's anything here which is unique, but we're happy to answer any questions about any of these things if you are interested in them. Again, we're still many of these purchases you'll see are still being funded out of these federal funds that have come in for COVID relief, and that's very helpful to us to move some things forward. The idea of the federal funds was that to set us up for future pandemics. Hopefully we'll never have one again, but you want to set up to be able to, in 2020, when we had to immediately transition to remote learning, transition to providing all of our services from home, we weren't as prepared for it in some ways because of technology. One example is we're converting our phone system now at the college to a new phone system that will allow us to work independently outside of the college, almost the way that we could before. One of the problems that people had, for example, is when people were home and they were working with the student, they actually had to call from their home phone or their cell phone, and they were giving out their private numbers rather than the college's number. So people were calling calling these people back who they were working with, on their cell phones, and that could be annoying if you're, that's not reasonable to expect employees to be able to do that. With our new phone system now, you can call from your cell phone and it says Passaic County Community College. When they answer the phone, then they will not know that you're calling from your cell phone. So those are just the kind of things that modernize our equipment, that gives us a much better way of doing things. So those are our purchases, and happy to answer any questions about any of them.
I have one question.
Please.
I was just curious about the Campus Works consultant.
Yes.
Is that a lump sum or an hourly? Because I was looking at that. In some places they say X amount of hour up to, and I was wondering, is that an hourly?
It's a fixed sum.
Fix up. Not to exceed.
Not to exceed. All right, so it is hourly.
It is hourly, yes, I guess.
Yeah, three installments, but I just, so it's hourly up to the max.
It's not hourly, it's not per month.
Yeah, it's like 51 something. I know.
And that includes.
It's estimated out.
No, those are final now. Not to exceed.
But they're doing a lot of work.
Oh, yeah. Any other questions on that? I think we're ready for executive session.
Okay, and I have a motion on resolution number 2, which is a resolution to meet in executive session.
So moved.
Second. Yolanda.
Trustee Raker? Yes. Trustee Strishay? Yes. Trustee Levin?
Yes.
Trustee Moody?
Yes.
Trustee Poe? Trustee Poe?
I think she's gone.
Trustee Smith?
Yes.
Yes.
Chairman Marco?
Yes.
Board will meet in executive session for approximately 20 minutes to discuss personnel, contract matters, and matters protected by attorney-client privilege. No action will be taken in executive session.
Trustee Poe,
Yes.
trustee Smith,
Yes.
Yes.
Chairman Marco.
Yes.
May I have a motion to adopt consent resolution number 3, approving the following items as set forth in the memorandum dated December 21st, 2021. A, which is the second reading of Board Policy D-103, readmission. B is the Advisory Council's membership. C is purchases of goods and services. D is personal action as listed in the personal action memorandum. Motion,
I'll move.
second. Roll call.
trustee Draper. Yes. Trustee Esquisha. Yes. Trustee Lovett,
Yes.
trustee Moody,
Yes.
trustee Poe. Yes. Trustee Smith,
Yes.
Yes.
trustee Marco.
Yes.
Are there any remarks from the public or from the trustees?
I do have, Professor Siegel could not be here this evening, so she asked me if I would just, convey her thanks to the board for, as we talked about in the executive session, the faculty contract is approved. This is a contract that doesn't go into effect until July 1st. It was an absolute pleasure working with the faculty in terms of doing this. I think we have anytime you have a contract which everybody feels they got something, that then they have a good contract. And Professor Siegel wanted me to say the same, that she really enjoyed working with the administration in terms of working this out, and our absolutely productive relationship continues. So we're very thankful for all that.
And for myself and the chairman, I wish you all a very happy and healthy holiday season. And we'll see you again next year.
Amen to that.
Amen.
May I have a motion to adjourn the meeting? Roll call.
Trustee Draper. Yes. Trustee Esquisha. Yes. Trustee Lovett.
Yes.
Trustee Moody,
Yes.
trustee Poe.
Yes.
Trustee Smith,
Yes.
Dennis,
Yes.
Chairman Marco.
Yes. And just remember, the best Christmas lights are the tail lights that are leaving with your guests.
Yeah, Merry Christmas, Happy New Year.
Merry Christmas, everybody.
Feel
Happy
better,
New Year.
Dennis. Feel better.
Thanks a lot, Mike.
They all have a great.